This is what everybody who is ethically non-monogamous, consensually non-monogamous, swingers, polyamorous, all great people. But this is what basically every single one of them gets wrong about the STI conversation. Every one of them. At the end of this video, you tell me in the comments if you agree or not. What everybody gets wrong is while everyone agrees that getting STI tested is critically important, it's foundational, it might be the most important thing, quite frankly. So if you get tested, you're a great person. And if you don't, you're not a great person, right? Everybody agrees on that. It's basic responsibility. It's talked about all the time. But what virtually nobody seems to care about is what people are tested for, right? And I get it, because you go to the public health center, or you go to your doctor and you say, I'm ethically monogamous. I want to make sure that I don't have a single STI. And you expect that to unlock some magic bit of experience or expertise in the mind of that provider, and that they are in fact going to test you for everything which is reasonable to be tested for. But 99 times out of 100, they aren't. And the variety would blow your mind. So if you spent the next month and you went to 10 different doctors, right? You go to 10 different OBGYNs or 10 different primary care doctors, or even 10 different Planned Parenthoods, or you name it, 10 different public health centers, you're going to get 10 different STI panels. The things that you're tested for, while there may be some similarity, HIV is probably going to be on there every time. I'd say syphilis probably be on there every time as well. After that, the level of variety would blow your mind. I said 99% earlier. There was a study just 3 weeks ago that showed that out of 45 million gonorrhea and chlamydia tests in the United States, only 1% of women were throat swab tested for gonorrhea. 1%. And they were twice as likely to test positive in their throat than they were their genitals. So let's take a time out here and talk about just this one example, oral gonorrhea. Okay, gonorrhea and chlamydia are bacterial infections, but what people don't seem to understand is that they are site-specific. So you can have them in your anus, you can have them in your genitals, you can have them in your throat, but testing one location does not tell you the status of the other two. So if you go get an STI test and it's just a blood draw and a genital swab or a urine test, and that's it, then you have absolutely no idea if you have something like oral gonorrhea at all. And crazy enough, the research shows time and time and time again that you're actually more likely to have it in your throat than you are your genitals. So that's just one example where every day people try to do the responsible thing. They go to the doctor and they say, I'm consensually non-monogamous, I'm ethically non-monogamous, whatever. Maybe they're not that. Maybe they're just serial monogamous, like most people, quite frankly, are. They just want to get STI tests to know if, in fact, they have an STI, and they can't because the physicians are not aware and the testing is just not adequate. There's other examples I could give you, like mycoplasma genitalium, trichomonas. I mean, those three things at my company, shamelesscare.com, oral gonorrhea, mycoplasma genitalium, and trichomonas are the three most common infections that I see. And probably the majority of our customers are people who consider themselves to be consensually non-monogamous. And I say that because I myself was consensually non-monogamous. That's why I started the company. We advertise on a lot of swinger websites and things like that. So those are the three infections that we see the most. No surprise, it's three of the most common infections in the United States anyway. But generally speaking, people aren't tested for any of those three things. So what you need to do is begin to think of STIs, not in terms of a panel. As a matter of fact, you'd be wise to never use that phrase again. STI panel, never utter that phrase again. Full panel, for God's sakes, never say that again. 10 panel, no. No, 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 no. None of those phrases mean anything. You need to think about STIs in terms of individual infections, okay? So gonorrhea, let's say you never have anal sex and you're like, okay, I don't need to be tested for anal gonorrhea. I don't need that swab up my butt. That's not a part of my life. Fine, you've made a reasonable decision, right? Or mycoplasma genitalium, which is an STI. It's extremely common. It can cause serious health complications. Pretty much every medical professional in the United States who knows what mycoplasma genitalium is thinks it should be treated. But you may learn about Mycoplasma genitalium and you may say, okay, after learning about it, I don't really care about it. I don't care if I have it. I don't care if I'm spreading it. So I don't care if I'm tested for it. Well, we can argue about if that's the right decision or the wrong decision, but at least you've made a decision. Because I promise you right now, if you walk into a Planned Parenthood, a local county health department, your doctor's office, and you say, test me for everything, you would be shocked at the variety and the common infections that are often missed. And so again, the main learning objective here is I think it's wonderful that we all think that STI testing is foundational to the health and safety of our community. And it's part of why people in consensual non-monogamy, in my experience, have far lower STI rates than the general population. Okay. But we have to start thinking about these as individual infections because it makes no sense at all to be hell-bent on this idea that people be STI tested, but not care at all about what they were STI tested for. I hope you found this helpful. My name is Robert. I'm the founder of shamelesscare.com, and you can always reach us on our website.